So we've tried to record this episode already once, but
no, we didn't try. We recorded the whole thing.
Yeah, no,
yes.
we did. We did on video, but we had no audio for it. So
we looked great.
But Erin's back. I say back. This is the first time for you, but we've already talked to Erin once. We were just easing you in, Erin.
Did we push all the buttons this time?
I think so.
Everybody pushed your buttons.
Look, everybody's buttons have been pushed.
Okay.
Especially Jeff, since we keep throwing him under the bus.
I know.
He likes it.
You do. You do. Oh, by the way, this is Erin Page from MetroFamily Magazine, in case people don't know who Erin is, which she's on our show every Monday, so they should, for MetroFamily Monday. You're always giving us tips of what to do in the city. I did have a question for you, because you do a lot of that. And this is probably not a fair question, because we did this for Where in the State. Is there a place that you just really like to, what's like this summer? Is there a place that you're really looking forward to going with your family, or something you're looking forward to do? You guys kind of maybe do it every year, or you've never done it before, but you want to?
I'm kind of a museum nerd.
I noticed.
So we will probably do a tour of all of the local museums in Oklahoma City to check those out. My kids really love Oklahoma Contemporary, which is always free. And they have a great learning gallery where you can create art based on what you see throughout the museum.
Awesome. I think they have like watercolor.
That's an Oklahoma City Museum of Art, which is another favorite. And I know that they've got some new exhibits opening there this summer, but my kids love the Chihuly exhibit in particular.
Yeah, that's a good one.
We're really fortunate in Oklahoma City that we have so many different art museums for kids that they can really be kids. They have to learn, obviously, how to be respectful of the art and museum etiquette. But I appreciate that our institutions have made a really big effort to have, packs for kids so they can come in and have something to color with while they're walking through, or created designated spaces for them. So that's first on my list.
Museums.
A museum tour. Yeah.
Okay.
Now, are you going to do that just in the city, or are you going to try and do that statewide?
How long do you think I want to be in the car with my kids for, Jeff?
Okay. Sorry. Point taken. Sorry
we got
about
plenty
that.
in the metro. It's fine.
Yeah.
Well, you guys tell me, what are some of your favorite places?
We recently did a deal in Shawnee and went to Maybe. Is it Maybe Gur?
Maybe Gur, yes, with the mummies.
Yes, they got a mummy in there.
And I got to tell you, that is a very underrated museum, because if you've never been, they do a great job. And for kids, too, they have a lot of a scavenger hunt deal. And they got like a treasure chest at the end, depending on how many of the hints that you were able to. It's really fun. It's
a great museum. And I think that they usually have some kind of admission special during the summer. I wish I knew what that was off the top of my head, but I think they have free days during the summer while kids are out of school.
I bet people could finally find that on MetroFamily's website.
I bet they could go to MetroFamilyMagazine.com and
throwing it out there
and find that out. Also in Shawnee, Kidspace Park is incredible.
Yes, we did that.
Multi-million-dollar park that has like an obstacle course and Ninja Warrior stuff.
Yeah, and Rachel twisted her ankle there.
Wait, I thought that was that one?
She's like, which part?
Hold on, which one?
Did I
injured myself?
Yeah,
Kidspace. Yep, that's where it happened. Just be aware that when you're stepping down, it was a depth perception thing. Leave me alone.
That's what
I've recovered almost.
It wasn't the fact that Rachel's getting old.
You problem and not the part.
It was 100% a me problem. I saw that I needed to step down. I just didn't estimate the depth of the step enough.
So
I feel that.
One thing I'm curious to see what you answer this is. So you are so involved with MetroFamily and Oklahoma City and really the state. Do you need and do you take breaks where it's like, I got to go do something else? Not that you don't love our state, because we all do. But there's got to be a day, I'm sure, that you're like, I just need some time where I'm not talking about Oklahoma.
I really don't ever get tired of visiting places throughout the state and talking about Oklahoma. I do love to travel. I love to take my kids new places. So we do some travel outside of the state as well. My kids are actually getting to go on their first out of the country vacation this summer.
Hey.
So we got their passports about a year ago. And ever since, they've been like, okay, where are we going? Is
So
it
they
time
don't
yet?
know yet?
They do know. And, if they didn't, they would know after they listened to this podcast. But yes, they
Oh,
are
you think your kids are
super
going to listen
excited.
I know,
to a
right?
podcast?
I'm
Isn't that
impressed.
cute?
I'm
That's real
impressed that
cute.
she said that. Why they're listening to this podcast. Yeah, right.
I saw that you took a vacation recently. Where all did you go? It looks like you traveled all over the place.
We did. So this was a bucket list trip for my husband. We went to the Grand Canyon and then the 5 Utah national parks.
Yeah.
And it
That's
was incredible. We had such a great time. The kids were just the right ages where they were not whining the whole time. We did a lot of intense hiking. We did like a full day hike through Zion National Park, through the Narrows where you're in and out of the water. And there was one instance of complaining. My youngest sort of tipped sideways halfway into the river. We had protective gear on, but his coat sleeve went in the river and he's whining. And I'm like, God, you're fine. Get over it. We're in like the most beautiful place in the world. Then I take the jacket off of him and it weighs as much as he does. So I was like, okay,
all right.
I'm
fair
sorry.
enough.
That
This does kind of suck.
Wow.
after that, he was fine.
As long as you recognize that it did suck, that got better. Okay.
Yes. And I removed the terrible part of his experience. So
It does-
then who do you think carried the coat?
Of course she did, Mom.
Right.
Of course she
Well,
did.
that's what moms do.
Carry all the
Pack.
stuff.
Yeah.
You're the pack mule. That's
Yes.
what they call them, right?
Well,
Yeah.
that's why, seriously, a pro tip for moms, especially if you're on vacation, don't carry any kind of bag because you will carry everything.
All their stuff.
It's true. Another thing, you did go to somewhere new here recently that I wanted to ask about. The Okana, the new resort that they just opened up.
It is incredible. Speaking of being outside the state, that was what we kept saying to each other the whole time we were
Just
there.
didn't feel like Oklahoma.
This does not feel like we are in Oklahoma. My kids said it was as cool as Disney World.
Wow.
So
Big words. I mean, it's right there on the Oklahoma River. Good views. You
It's
got an indoor water park.
beautiful.
That park looks huge too on the inside.
I can't wait to go back and experience the outdoor park. We just did
Yeah.
the indoor because that's all that was open. And it was also snowing while we were there. But those water slides are no joke.
I was going to ask you, did you do the one that's like a roller coaster that brings you up and down? Like
I
that's
sure
supposed to be
did.
their claim to fame.
Then I had to go sit down for a while after that.
Oh, really? Got a little
and
queasy?
recover.
You're not as young as you
And
used to be.
That is
maybe?
it.
Yeah.
And I'm
Mhm.
a roller coaster person, but that was very intense.
Something about a roller coaster and water.
It was
I don't
guys,
know.
It's a lot.
I'd give it a
Everybody
shot.
should do it, but it was a lot.
Okay, so what was your favorite part of the resort that you got to experience at least?
I mean, the indoor water park is magical.
I mean, it is going to be the claim to fame.
it absolutely
And you went in the
is.
snow. So with
That
all
was-
this
that
ridiculous
was pretty
Oklahoma
cool.
weather. Yeah.
I will say, one thing I was really surprised by is how good the food was everywhere
Really?
throughout
Okay.
the resort. There's dining inside the water park itself where you order on a touch screen. So clearly my children were in charge of that. And the food was great. And then we also ate at the Mexican food restaurant for dinner. Fabulous margaritas,
Okay.
which, are helpful after a day of climbing
That's
all
right.
the
That's what
stairs.
you want.
And
That might be why she needed to sit down after riding that ride.
Save the margaritas for after.
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
I should have done it afterward.
for after, or maybe before would be better. Loosen you up a little
Listen,
bit.
courage.
Break it up. Just do one before, one after.
Right.
That's how you
Call it
do
good.
Yeah. Do you know if I wanted to just walk into a restaurant there, could I do that, or do I have to be staying at the resort?
Most of the restaurants are open to the public.
Okay, that is good to know.
And food is great. I have some friends that just checked out the new Smokehouse Social
okay.
restaurant and said it was incredible. Everything they ate was fabulous.
All right. Thanks for doing that reconnaissance for us. I've
Anytime.
just been curious. It's huge over there. It's going to be known as like a major part of Oklahoma. So you got to tell us about it. And I appreciate that.
It was so much fun. And it really made me proud of our city. I went to the official grand opening, and it was really inspiring to hear about how the city and the Chickasaw Nation have worked together to make that resort a reality. It just reminds you that when we work together, we can accomplish some really incredible things here.
Yes. I kind of had that same overwhelming since I went for a run in Scissortail. We're recording this right before the OKC Memorial Marathon, and I went running downtown, and I just stopped and I was like, how pretty is my city? Like,
Mhm.
and it's amazing what it's become. We have stuff up for the memorial, which of course is reminding us of tragic past and then all the stuff happening for the playoffs and seeing how the city has grown while I'm running on this park that did not exist but years ago. I mean, like very proud of our city. It's amazing how we've been able to come together, work together, rebuild, and really make something strong and something I'm proud of. I want to show off my city. It's
Absolutely.
a big deal.
And
I still want to see somebody, and maybe there's laws that you can't, but I am blown away that we haven't built a riverboat casino on the Oklahoma River. Now, not an actual riverboat, okay? It's stationary.
Yeah.
Okay. But it looks like how cool would that be to be a part of all that stuff that's there at the Oklahoma River? And we have casinos throughout the state.
It's true.
Why not be able to go riverboat gambling on a riverboat casino on the Oklahoma River?
This is Jeff's next project.
You better trademark that, Jeff. Somebody's going to take your idea.
Hey, if it happens, I don't care. They can have it. I just think it'd be so
He
cool.
just wants to go.
Yeah. Have you ever done the riverboats like on the Mississippi?
Yes.
I have not.
Oh my gosh. The paddle, they are so much fun. How cool would it be that I don't know. I just think it'd be cool.
It would be cool. I think we're going to see so much growth in the Horizons District over the next 5-10 years. I think just like downtown and Scissortail Park will be in the Horizons District 5 and 10 years from now going, I can't believe that all of this is
just
here.
looks completely different. The city's been transformed. It's a beautiful thing. Okay, Erin, I just looked at the time.
Yeah, I think we
gotta get you out of here. I know. I don't know where you're going, but I can tell you this is more fun.
That is true. As long as you pushed all of the buttons.
We'll see if you have to do this again next
Right.
week.
She enjoyed the first podcast we did that had no audio with it.
I don't know why I keep saying yes to you guys.
We don't either.
I
was like, actually, I
would think you would learn.
Good
but
question. Good question.
I guess you're just a lot of fun.
Aw.
She read that just like you wrote it.
Pretty much. Thank you, Erin.
You're welcome.
A few moments later.
Okay, she's gone, Jeff.
I know. She's so much fun. Seriously.
We really do love Erin.
I love it when she's here.
I do too. Did you bring anything that you wanted to talk about independently of Erin?
I did.
Okay.
And the first one I want you to do is I'm going to throw you under the bus because everybody keeps throwing me under the bus about not pushing buttons.
Mm-hmm.
You have to tell that story about how in the world you struck up a conversation with somebody at a gas pump.
It happens.
You do realize that Progressive has one of those commercials now that says you're turning into your parents about a conversation at a gas pump.
Okay, I don't think it, to my memory, I didn't start it. I got out to pump my gas. There's a guy next to me pumping his gas, and he was like, whoa, 70 gallons. And then as I'm trying to get which I did not respond to because it sounds like an inner thought that just came out. I'm trying to get my gas, and the price is just flashing at me. I had pressed the button. I for sure pressed the button. It was only one price, but it wasn't giving me any gas and I couldn't figure it out. And so I jokingly said, hey, I think you ate up all the gas. And that started our conversation. He ended up buying me some gas.
Okay, that's pretty cool. But I think the thing that also cracked me up is in this conversation,
I found out his job.
what he does for a living. It's the worst job ever.
Yeah, he has like literally the job I would never want. Septic tank cleaner. That's the one job that I was like, nope, I don't think you could pay me enough to do it. His name was T. He said, actually, it's not that bad. Because he doesn't have to touch any of the poopy stuff. All he has to do is take the hose, put it on the back of the thing, drain it out, and then take his spray hose and spray it down real quick, and he's done. He seemed very happy with his job. He did not hide it at all.
I am grateful that we have people that do those things. I really am.
Yes.
I'm not just being silly.
I was relieved to know that it is not maybe as nasty as I thought it was. But the smell. Shout out to T. You the real MVP, T.
Way to go, T.
Somebody's got to empty those things, and it ain't going to be Jeff and I can tell you that. Plus, you got me some gas, so yeah, T's the man.
70 gallons? Thinker.
Okay.
So Janet and I were kind of talking about this, and we were kind of reminiscing life before cell phones and then all of technology that we're at today. What if, all of social media, not just TikTok like we've been threatened with so many times, went away, like disappeared tomorrow? How would you handle that? I mean, would you react with joy? Would you be completely lost? I mean, how would that affect you?
I mean, if I'm being honest, I would feel that impact if it was gone. I think we all use social media to a certain extent, at least. It factors into my job quite a bit. So I'd feel it. I do think it might be better if it did, though. Honestly, I think maybe if it went away, we'd all be better off. But I have a hard time saying I want it gone because so many people's businesses depend on social media these days. So I don't think from that aspect, it'd be really hard to eliminate it.
So when I think about this, if it just disappeared, and yes, we know it's going to affect businesses, does it affect the world to where, I mean, do we shut down? I mean, surely there's enough of us that remember before and can still maybe work.
Down. Yeah, it would be a hard transition. And of course, it's going to be harder for some people than other. Of course, I think for us olders who have lived before the time, we could kind of just revert back to that. Kind of like when you forget your phone and you got to go meet somebody somewhere and you're like, I guess I'll show up. That's what I used to do. I think we could convert back to that. But I think I can handle it better than some.
I just think it's a good thinker. And maybe if you stop and think about how it affects your life and like, especially what you do right now, like whatever it is you do for a living, how involved are you into the social media versus how much are you not?
Yeah. That was the whole thing. Even with TikTok, all those creators were like, that is my entire livelihood you're taking away by doing that. And I totally understand that. So, but as a society, maybe we just don't need to be as connected as we are. Connection's a great thing, but maybe we just know too much. We're too connected.
All right. So I think that's enough for this one. You want to do our game?
Yes. I'm going to pull first this time because I never do that. What food or song always brings back good memories?
Food or song?
That's a fun question.
Yeah, that really is.
The first food I thought of was Bomb Pops.
Yes.
They're my favorite. I got them when I was a little kid and grandma used to buy them for me. And I just, good memories of Bomb Pops. Sloppy Joes. It's all stuff that I ate in my childhood. A song is a little bit
Well, I don't know. You
harder.
brought up the Bomb Pop. There is something still about the ice cream truck song that just makes you smile.
I had one come by the other day and my friend was like, let's run out and get some.
Yes. It always makes me remember, too, how I used to mess with the guy and yell stop and we weren't coming. But anyway.
You jerk.
I know. I couldn't. It was the funniest thing. I mean, it was so much fun. And food, I think I told you this before. One of the ones that came to my mind was the Hostess pies where we'd put them in the freezer. I've talked about that before.
Yep.
But the other one is Chuck House chicken fried steak. That was our pregame meal in football in high school. And brings back so many good memories.
It's weird how all that connects. Foods are a lot easier for me to figure out than a song. I'll have to think on that one a little longer. You want to go and do your question?
Okay, sure. What is something you think you'll get better and better at for the rest of your life?
That's all right. I got to think about something I'm getting better at currently.
That's what I was thinking. What am I getting better at right now?
If our bosses are listening, we should probably say radio.
Yes, we're better at our morning show job.
Totally.
Every day will be better and better.
Right.
Now that we covered that.
Okay, bases covered on that. What am I actually getting better at? For the rest of my life?
Yep, for the rest of your life.
Dang. I mean, I'm working on pottery right now, but I don't know that I can say I'll be doing that for the rest of my life.
Or that you're getting better and better.
Hey, Jeff. You saw the bowls?
I did.
You could tell they were
You
bowls.
got better.
You can tell what my art is. I'm improving.
I just couldn't help myself.
What is it? A little sad that we can't think of anything we're getting better
I know.
at, that we're going to continue to get better at. I just feel like, okay, like I'm doing running, but I feel like we're on the downhill slide of that now, so that's not going to get better. I'm going to say tolerating others, but I think that actually goes down when you get older too.
Yeah,
You just give 0 Fs, maybe. That's a different level. That's a different kind. Man, this is a hard question. What am I going to get better at?
Yeah, you know what? I'm just going to say better at answering these questions.
That feels like a cop-out.
Well, because I didn't have an answer, and you're not coming up with one.
You're going to get better at it for the rest of your life? No,
not for the rest of my life, but for the rest of this podcast life.
Man, we might just have to put in a speed up. Remember, we can't skip the question.
That's right. You're really trying to answer this.
Yes, because we made the deal that we can't skip a question because it's hard to answer. You can't just, I'm going to get better at answering this question. No, that's cop-out. You are not following the rules.
Okay, I'll get better at following the rules for the rest of my life. Seriously.
You liar. No, you won't.
I will. I will work on getting better and better at following the rules.
Sure you will.
No, I will. I will work on it.
I'm still calling a cop-out. I'm going to say maybe editing.
I
It
don't
is,
understand how it's a cop out.
I guess, editing audio. That is one thing that I am continuing learning how to do better and improve, and new tools and podcast stuff. I do research on that. So hopefully I will continue to learn that maybe
Okay.
the rest of my life. Maybe when I hit like my retirement age, I'm not going to care anymore.
Hopefully this is not a cop out because I came up with something.
Okay, let's see.
I want to continue to get better and better at being willing to learn the older I get, so that whether it's how to use Control C and V or whatever it is, editing audio or whatever, that I continue to learn and not be so close-minded and just think, I don't need to learn that.
Okay, I'm going to give that to you as a real answer.
See?
Although you're going to get better at learning your whole life, or you're going to stay about the same at learning, but you're going to continue to do it.
No, I want to try to get better at
Do you improve at learn? Is that a thing can you learn to learn better?
Well, maybe I didn't phrase it right, but like, having to do AI stuff now and
Oh, I know. You're very adaptable and you continue to learn. I
So,
just
okay,
don't
maybe
know that
that's
it answers the question.
continue to be adaptable. So get better and better at being
adaptable. Okay, we've arrived
There,
at
we got there.
an acceptable
Just because I didn't say it right.
according to Rachel's rules.
Right, according
which
to
you are
Rachel's
which you have
rules.
already told me you're going to get better at following. It's on the record.
Yeah, no, I'm pulling
Notice-
that one out. No, that one's gone.
Notice that I threw in Rachel's.
Yeah, no, that's
rules.
gone. After you said it, that was a cop out. No, Rachel's rules are out the window.
Okay. I liked it better when Erin was here.
Yeah, I know you did.